Welcome, Nora, Colin, and Chava to your final jury. We are at the finale. So this means, sorry, not the finale, not the finale. We're at the penultimate finale. We are where the moves are made, the cases are made, and the votes will be tallied to determine who becomes our sole survivor. And with that, I would like to welcome our jury. To remind our audience, these are the previously eliminated contestants that are making up our jury. Please say hello when I call your name. First up, we have Brian.
Hello, 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 everybody.
Let's go!
Next up, Gina.
Hello, hiya.
Then we have Meg.
Hello, how's everyone doing?
Followed by Trey.
Hello, everyone.
And of course, Fiona.
Hi.
Then we have Jordan.
Hi, hello.
Next up is Carlie.
Hi.
Then Georgia.
Hello, ladies and germs.
And finally, Emily.
Hi.
So yes, due to the fact that Emily is on our jury, we all know that means that Emily was eliminated in our final elimination on Monday night after a double tiebreaker, mind you, 2 votes and a tiebreaker challenge later, and Colin managed to clinch his spot in the top 3. And with that, let's get down to the questions. So the way this is going to work tonight is the jury, I'm going to call your name. When it's your turn, you will ask your question. Contestants, if the question was directed specifically at you, please do answer. If it was addressed to all 3 of you will have an opportunity to respond. I'm going to encourage you to try to be as juicy as you can, as briefly as you can, because we have a lot to cover tonight. And with that, top 3, are you ready for your jury questions?
This is exactly how I was hoping this wouldn't go. Like, this is the opposite of what I was hoping this would go like. So,
well, fortunately,
let's do it.
Fortunately, Colin, you actually have an opportunity to speak first.
Ooh.
Before we get to the questions, we are going to have our opening statements by our top 3 contestants. And the order for that is going to start with Chava. So Chava, you can begin.
Hello, my name is Chava. The last time I spoke in front of this many people was my bar mitzvah. If you told 7th grade me that I would be here tonight on TTS Survivor in front of this jury, her little kippah would have thrown right off her head. So much of my life has led up to this moment. I reflect on my victories like that one time from week 8 and my defeats like weeks 1 through 7. I have been told I played a good social game. Call that shit Facebook. Members of the jury, let me send you a friend request. I have been given 120 seconds to tell you why I should win this game. I could tell you about how I was an honest player, or how I always had the best earrings, shout out my earrings. I may not have had the most outward eagerness to win or won as many challenges as Nora or had as chill vibes as Colin, but I think I would make a pretty good winner. I've been told I look good in a crown. Now, I'm the person who said that, so it's like low-key biased, but I feel like I'm trustworthy and I can tell you I do look good in a crown. Again, I've been given this time to do with whatever I want with, so I want to say hello to my moms, Ellen and Stephanie. They watch this show. Hi, mommy. Hi, mama from San Francisco. Love you. Anyways, I should tell you why I should win. It's because I am all about that bass, Oh, wait, this isn't my Megan Trainor fan club. This is TTS Survivor on YouTube.com. What? So yes, again, this is why you should vote for me. I worked really hard in this game. I did not lie up until the end. Sorry, Georgia. And I was always happy when I showed up, and I'm just really happy to be here. Now, I want to leave you with one quote that means a lot to me. To quote Noah Centineo, it matters not what you've done, but what you do with what you've done for others. So settle for Chava for TTS Survivor Season 2, bitches. Woo! Vote for me if you wanted me to be smiling and happy. Just kidding, I'll be happy either way. I'm not trying to manipulate you guys. Okay, yeah, love you.
All right, and with 10 seconds to spare, wow, Chava has really set the bar for tonight. Comedy art's coming through. All right, second for our opening remarks, we have Nora.
I played a very strategic game where I wasn't afraid to turn against people when it benefited me. I found the first immunity item in the first week, and I was able to keep it even when everyone knew I had it for 6 eliminations. I flew under the radar until I decided to start making big moves. I gained Fiona's trust going into the merge, and after solidifying that and flipping to Georgia and Jordan's side after their plea for some spice in the game, I established their trust and consecutively picked off Alex, Sam, Trey, and Fiona, 2 of which left on their own accord because they knew they had no chance against me. I established strong connections with Carlie and Chava, and also kept Georgia and Jordan close so that way I had options to solidify my spot in the top 3. Knowing I had Carlie and Chava on my side, I was able to break up Georgia and Jordan. Neither of them would have taken me over the other, so there was no choice but to break them up. After eliminating Jordan, Georgia was stuck with me as her number 1. That way, I knew Carlie and Chava and Georgia would all choose me over one another, giving me power in numbers, as well as being able to go far in the game, even if I didn't have immunity. I started to distrust Carlie after hearing suspicions from Georgia and Chava, and knowing what the producers may have planted in her head during the strategy session, I have no clue. So I organized us to get out Carlie and her secret item. By that point, I knew I had Georgia and Chava on my side with nowhere else to go. I decided to vote out Georgia, knowing I had her trust and receiving blackmail from Colin. I felt this was the best time to get out one of the strongest players in the game. At that point, I knew I wanted to sit with Chava at the end no matter what. The other spot I left up to chance by tying the vote last week and letting Colin and Emily fight to the death. Overall, I was able to win 4 immunity challenges when I needed the most. I won the knee apple challenge. I won the auction plate challenge. I won the obstacle challenge, which was all challenges I had lost before. And then I won. And I also won the fort challenge, which means that I broke the record for most immunity challenges from Matthew's last season. And I did all of this while never having a single vote to my name. Thank you.
Right on time, Nora. Meticulous as ever. Thank you so much, Nora. That means rounding out the opening speeches from our top 3 is Colin.
So, okay, well, here we are, guys. Top 3. Did not expect to be here at all, but here we are anyway. You know, it's been cool. I've had a fun time. You know, I didn't think that I would make it this far, honestly. And this whole sort of push toward the end kind of came out of, you know, my, excuse me, my love for my friends. My friends are the reason that I just tried to win this game so hard, you know, because I truly love them. Also, I'd just like to say that I made the comeback of the season. Y'all smoked all my homies. You got them all out in a very strategic way. I was the last one. And you know, Trey and Fiona, they did their own thing, but we all knew what was going to happen that night. And so, basically, like, I was like the last man of that team. And so I just came out and I just started like taking no prisoners. And I started making moves, you know, moves that I was nervous to make, honestly, because I was like, oh, I'm scared to talk to these people. Blah, blah, blah. I'm scared to backstab, blah, blah, blah. But I did that and I made it and it's been fun. And oh my God, sorry. Yeah, man. I think that's all I have to say. But it's been cool, man. Whichever way this goes, it's been cool.
Excellent, Colin, with 7 seconds to spare. Thank you for those remarks. All right, that brings us to the jury questions. First up, Meg.
Ooh, I finally get to speak again. Okay, so my question I'm gonna address to all of y'all, and that is, if you win, what are you gonna spend your $1 million on? What are you gonna spend your $1 million on? And if you don't make me laugh, you're not getting my vote.
I'm not funny, so I don't know if I'll make you laugh, but I think that I would just buy a bunch of craft supplies because, you know, they're expensive.
So my friend Sydney, shout out Sydney, she has this pitch to do a roller coaster that's like Ellen DeGeneres theme, and like it's like there's like an Ellen DeGeneres like robot there, and like it's just like you're not allowed to look at her because like, you know, you're not supposed to look at her, and it's just like this really really cool thing. You like skydive down and you get extra points if you land on Ellen DeGeneres. I want to make that happen for Sydney, so I would invest my $1 million into some Six Flags like Ellen DeGeneres like collab. And if it wasn't a funny answer, I'd pay for my college tuition.
It's very generous of you, Chava.
Thank you, Chava. All right, Colin, that means you're up.
I'm actually going to go with an artistic endeavor as well. Trey recently proposed a mixtape of sea shanties. Just wanted to plug that. So I don't know, man, $1 million. Imagine the production value on an album that's just sea shanties, dude. Like me, Trey, Fiona getting on it, you know, singing sea shanties. Brian will be there too. Shit, man, that'll be. We might win a Grammy.
Meg, thank you for starting us off with a little fun tonight. All right, that brings us to Brian.
Congratulations, y'all. And I want to go on the Ellen DeGeneres roller coaster very badly. Here's my question. When I got voted out, I told everyone that the person I'm going to be voted on, or the person I'm going to vote for is going to be the person that made the biggest moves in the game. So my question is, it's a two-parter. What's the biggest move you made in the game that you feel, and what's your biggest regret?
I'll go first. My biggest move that I made in the game was definitely after Meg was voted out. When Jordan had their speech about how we need to spice things up, or this was going to be like last season, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to take that into my own hands, and I'm going to reach out and try to spice things up. So I reached out to Jordan in Georgia, and I was like, let's go. Like, let's get them. Like, let's make a majority. And I did that, and it really wasn't like, at the time, it was very nerve-wracking because I was going with a minority in the game at that point, but it worked to my benefit, and I'm sitting here today because of that. And I'd have to say that my biggest regret was getting Carlie out. Like in a moment of weakness, I really let her go, and that's my biggest regret.
The biggest move I made was probably, some people like to call it blackmail. I just like to call it playing the hand that I was dealt, where I basically tried to get leverage with everybody by reminding them that 3 people that are in my acting class, which I thought it was going to be 4, but I guess Alex decided to just bail. There are 3 people on the jury. I have leverage with them, so yeah, which like is funny because I didn't really even think that would work, because like it's not like I have like the majority, like there's like 3 people out of like all of these people, so like I really didn't think it would be that effective, but it did. It's like the only reason I'm here, I think. And my biggest regret was when Alex and I began to we started kind of putting things in the works to go against our alliance. We did that, and that was a moment of, you know, like we didn't know what was gonna happen, but then that was literally, we sort of hatched that plan, and then the next elimination was when Alex went and Sam went, and so as Will Smith says, life got turned upside down.
I feel like my biggest move was it was kind of like I was just subtle. Like I made myself needed for every vote. So like I was kind for like I was saying like for a while I was the swing vote, and it was kind of like an interesting strategy that kept me here for as long as like I'm here. Wow, talking is really hard, but I'm gonna keep trying. But anyways, yeah. So like I just made myself needed, and like I was able to stay honest and true to my alliances for the most part, which was like felt good because I don't like being like a dirty player. Like that just makes my heart hurt. But like not that there's anything wrong with being a dirty player. Like y'all, good for y'all. Or not y'all, not that you wow, this is really going well for me. And then my biggest regret is that I never learned how to make a paper crane because that came up again. And like if I had known how to make that paper crane, I probably still would have lost that challenge, but like at least I would have gotten further. And that's all you can hope for. Live, laugh, love.
All right, next up, Jordan.
Hi, everyone. Hello. Congratulations, y'all, all three of you. So this question I have is for all three of you, as this game, as you all mentioned in your opening statements, is a game of strategy. So based on each other's games, what would you say the other two people's biggest flaws were, and did you use those to your advantage?
I mean, I'll go ham right now. I said this to Georgia, and I think that I was very strategic in my planning, but the other two aren't exactly as smart with their vote. They kind of were very easily decepted. Like I was able to convince them really easily to vote with me each week, and that was that's why they were easy to convince.
I feel so mean, but it's not. Okay. I feel like Nora, your biggest weakness was just how much you wanted to win, in like antithesis to like how chill I played it. Because like in the sense where it was like you were ready to take me to the top because you didn't think I wanted to win. I was able to like kind of like play you in the sense where it was like I was like, yeah, like no, like let's go to the top together. Like I'm just this chill person, but like I mean I'm still here and spent like all these weeks doing this game. Like I still want to win, you know what I mean? And then Colin, like I don't think you have a weakness. I feel like that's not like it was just like your flow got you here, and you're like I don't know. I feel like I don't know. Good job both of you. Love you both.
I mean, honestly, I don't know about any like consistent weaknesses, but like once I kind of got in with Nora and Chava, I was like, okay, like this is good because now I can kind of try to sway things in my direction. You know, like I really think that was like the only sort of thing is like they really could have gotten me out when they had the chance. You know, they had multiple chances to. I mean, I never had immunity or anything. So I think that was the one thing. So
Thank you, Jordan. And next up, Fiona.
I have a question for everybody. Okay, this is in honor of the $500 that was robbed from me at the TTS auction. If you had a budget of $500, what present would you get me? Or presents? You can get several.
So like if there's some kind of like luxury like knitting / crocheting subscription, that's like I would get you, you know, that's like one of those things where like you get cool stuff each month, you know?
Right, yeah.
I'd get as much of that subscription as the $500 would get.
Great answer.
I'll piggyback off Colin, and I also love to crochet, so we would go on a weekend getaway together and do it.
I'm sorry, can I ask a quick follow-up?
Go for it, Fiona.
Yeah.
So they all have to be different presents, and I'm sorry I didn't specify that. Okay. But is your present us going away together and crocheting?
Yes.
Love that. Okay, great. Love that.
All right, Chava.
Okay, so mine's kind of an experience. So I know you, I've like from your Instagram and just like getting to talk to you, I know you like, I've seen like you did like heart-shaped stuff for Valentine's Day. I want to plan you like a themed night, like maybe some sort of like murder mystery party. And like, you're going to be like in full costumes. Like everyone has to be full costumes, fully decked out of the period. And like, there's going to be fake blood and everything. Like, like the whole thing. And then like obviously there's going to be drinks, like alcoholic drinks that match the theme of the party. We'll just decide the theme later, and like it's just like all $500 is going to costumes, food, and drink.
Whoa. Okay. I have my answers.
Thank you, Fiona. And next up, the returning champ herself, Emily.
Hi. I could have been petty, but I'm not. So this is for all of you. Did you play this game to have fun, or did you play to win?
I think that winning is fun.
I played this game because I thought it'd be kind of funny. Like, I just thought it'd be funny. And, like, I got Alex in it. Like, all the other BFA3s are doing it. It's just for fun. Yeah.
I played to meet people because like I watched last season and it looked really fun, and I was like, oh, like maybe I can make some friends. I wanted to feel more involved in the community because I just felt like I was distant from the community because freshman Zoom. So yeah, I feel like I've achieved that.
Excellent. Thank you all. Thank you, Emily. Next up, not sure if any of us are prepared for this. Trey.
Hello, everyone. Here's a question for everyone. A common refrain of this season has been how I'm here for fun. I'm here for fun with my friends. I love my friends. I love you all. With that in mind, what was a moment where you felt like you had truly ground an enemy into the dirt, where you were flooded with dark satisfaction who consigned their unworthy soul to perdition?
I think the icing on the cake for me was when I like thought about it for like 24 hours and realized Georgia had lied to me, and I was like, you know, it's time, and she left.
You know, in the same vein there, you know, I mean, obviously it's sort of a known thing that, you know, Georgia was responsible for getting the people that were formerly my alliance out for the most part, and Nora as well. Of course, Nora had something to do with that. And so like getting Georgia out, that was cool. And also just like getting here also, because that was certainly, it didn't seem like that was in Nora's plan. So
I feel like I didn't have any this is like the worst answer. I feel like I didn't have any enemies that like who I was like, God, I'm so happy to see you leave. So that's a boring answer.
Thank you so much, Trey. Next up, Carlie.
Hello, good job, everybody. Okay, so my question is actually just for Colin. And Colin, before I say this, I want an honest answer and not what you've been saying about it the whole time. Why do you deserve our vote, especially after you threatened to use the jury against your fellow finalist if Georgia made it to the end?
Oh, so why do you deserve my vote?
Yes, why do we deserve your vote when you would, because I just feel like the other two didn't resort to blackmailing everyone else. So I was just wondering like why you did, since you chose that tactic.
You know, I will say, if I have a second here, I will say that that tactic was not lightly considered. Also, as I said, like all I really said is like I have these people in you know that I have a relationship with. I didn't specify that I had a majority of the jury. And I wasn't honestly sure how many of these people would show up in the end. But yeah, I mean, I was out for revenge, and so I did that. And I talked to people about it. I ran into somebody on the show, and I was like, I don't know if I should have done this, but oh my God, I kind of lost my train of thought there. I'm sorry. Yeah, I was like, this is a shitty thing that I could do, but like somebody told me like it's called Survivor, like the job is to survive, and so like I kind of took that route, and trust me, like I felt bad about it, like there was something weighing on me for a little bit, but I guess I don't know, like I guess I deserve your vote because I pulled some slick shit and I was willing to go down to some depths that maybe other people weren't willing to go down to. Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't know.
If you're gonna make moves, own up to them.
Thank you, Carlie. Next up, we have the abominable Georgia.
Hey, ladies. Oh, you guys. Stop. I would like to start out by saying congrats to all three of you. I'm glad Colin reminded us we have our survivor skin on. I swear I'm not naked. Also, it looks like I'm naked. So here's what I'm doing here tonight. I already know who I'm voting for. I don't need to ask any questions. What I'm going to use my time to do is talk to the jury on behalf of the person I want to vote for, because I really stand by it, and I also want to convince you. I want to take another opportunity to fight for them. So when you look at the entire scale of the game, all 10 weeks, there is one person who clearly outwitted and outplayed and Outlast. Well, Outlast is up for debate. We're not there yet. But outwitted and outplayed miles more than the other two did, with all due respect. Every game is different. But the way I saw things, Nora, out of the three people here, she won the most immunities. She had the largest hand in the most blind sides. I would know that. She said most of it herself, actually. In her speech, she listed every single thing. And I mean, I was there up until last week, and so I saw all of that stuff. I only missed one episode. And, you know, at the last elimination on Monday 2 days ago, I was pretty... I mean, I've pulled some dirty things too myself, but I was pretty blown away with Colin's move that he did admit to, that he was willing to manipulate his relationship with people outside of the game to gain votes. And I'm very passionate about this game. I take it very seriously, as I'm sure you all know. And I just think that out of the deep respect I have for the game, I think it would be offensive to not vote for Nora to be the winner. And Colin, while you made some great points tonight that I hadn't considered. I'll still be voting for Nora. But you know, those huge moves that you made, they only really came into play last week, and this has been a 10-week quarter. And Chava, I think you're an awesome person. I don't think you did too much. So respect all around. I really hope that you guys, for the sake of this game and for the sake of just respect for giving it your all and taking huge risks and doing crazy things, which is what this game is all about. I hope that you vote for Nora tonight, because yeah, I hope you vote for Nora tonight. She pulled the biggest moves. She won the most immunities. She's a queen, and she deserves to be wearing that crown. And I can't wait to hopefully hear her name read a bunch of times next week. Peace and love. Proud of all three of you, no matter what. This has been a crazy season. Cheers.
Thank you, Georgia. This means that rounding out, bringing up the rear with our final question of the night, we have Gina.
Hello. This is just an absolutely awful choice for me. Because I have met all of you in person and I love all of you. So I have a question. What was your lowest point on this season of Survivor? And how does that impact where you stand in the game now? Why does that, how you handled that get my vote?
I would have to say my lowest point in the game was the week that I used my immunity item and I voted Carlie out. At that point, I was like so scared. Like I had a fire under my butt that week. I didn't know what was going to happen. I thought that I was on the chopping block. And I let so many emotions and so many like things come into my brain and take over it. But then after that week, I picked myself back up. And I was like, girl, you got to fight for this. Like, you can't let that happen again. You need to do your game. You need to be strong. And that's why you should vote.
For me, like my lowest point of the game was probably just like a personal challenge where I was just really screened out. Like I've been on Zoom a lot and like, I just had like a lot of homework and it was kind of like, I don't know if I want to show up this week and like, I'm tired. But like, I kind of just worked through that by like, I started because I would get really anxious before the challenges and stuff. I kind of was like, okay, like I'm just gonna look at this like more for fun and like I'll laugh about it and like be more silly. And then it started to like become more fun. I like didn't really know how to like find my place in the game, and then like I got more comfortable talking. So it was kind of just like, I don't know how to be here, but like now I feel like I know how to be here. So like that's helped me get here today, is just like working through the anxiety and like getting on screen and just being like, I'm gonna talk. And here I am talking. Look at me go. That's my answer.
All right, Colin.
My lowest point was, well, one of there were like kind of two that I considered. One of them I already mentioned when Alex and I considered going against our lines, and the other was really, I mean, it really was this last thing where I sort of, I mean, I guess, I mean, it kind of goes along with the same thing. Is like, is it a move or is it a manipulation? Is it this or is it blackmailing? Like, I don't know. I did what I did, you know. But at the same time, like I definitely, like I didn't. It's interesting that Georgia mentions it, because like I in no way intended to like attack the integrity of the game, you know, and like I did sort of have a bad feeling about what I was doing, especially since like I knew what I was doing from the get-go, and that's just not what I like to do as like a regular person. And like I think we can all attest, like even though we put the survivor skin on and like we're playing the game, like lying and like going behind people's back, like there's something that's just like a little, like it just gets to you a little bit, you know, even though you know it's a game, it's like there's something that's just kind of about it. So yeah.
Thank you, Gina. I actually have one last thing that has to happen, which is that these three contestants, you do have an opportunity to make a closing statement. So we're going to go in reverse order for the closing statements. So Colin, you're up first.
Great. This is exactly what I was hoping for. No time to think of what I was going to say. I guess to say, you know, obviously we all kind of know how this went down. I did what I did. Maybe I'm not necessarily proud of it, but like somebody told me, you know, the game is called Survivor, and so the purpose is to survive. And there were a lot of I talked to people, and they were I was thinking, I was like, maybe I'll just like kind of for real just like do it, because I don't want to just like leave the game, you know, just to have like some keep my honesty and integrity. But they were like, no, everybody's been doing that kind of stuff since the get-go, so like what makes that different, you know? And so here I am. If you vote for me, thanks. But it's been cool. So that's honestly all I have. Thanks.
Thank you, Colin. All right, Nora.
All right, I'm just gonna slip off the head of my survivor skin, not all of it, just the head. Imagine the mask coming off. But like, I would just like to like thank everybody, because like I said in the first episode, like I don't normally do things like this. This was so out of my comfort zone. In real life, I'm not a liar. Like I'm very truthful. I'm very nice. Like I don't stab people in the back. Like it's just not my personality. So thank you all for giving me such like a great experience. And like Chava mentioned earlier, like it's been so difficult to like connect with people, and meeting all of you just makes me feel like so enveloped in the community. And I hope that when we're all able to see each other, we can all walk to Jenny's and get a bowl of ice cream. I'll pay for it, and it'll be a great time. But I'm really excited to meet all of you and like do shows with you. And my survivor skin's back on. Please vote for me, because I worked really hard and I want to win.
All right, thank you, Nora. All right, Chava, bring us home.
I'm gonna bring you guys all the way home. So I may not have played a super obvious game, but like I feel like I played a really strong social game, and I feel like I got to know most of you individually, and I did not turn my back on most of you. Sorry, Georgia. I did not turn my back on most of you. And I know that I'm chill. I seem pretty chill, but I do want to win. I am still excited to be here. I worked hard in a different way than other people, but like I showed up, I played the games, and I managed to get here. So, you know, think of all the different types of strategies. They're all interesting in their own way, and they're all valid. And yeah, again, thank you to everyone. Also, thank you to Antonio and the producers. I know you guys put a lot of work, and like this is a lot of work. And also, shout out Nora and Colin. I'm happy to be here with you too. Live, laugh, learn. Live, laugh, love. Yeah. Peace out. Peace out.
All right, so I don't have any questions for you tonight because the jury had them for you, which means that we are going to get down to the vote. In a moment, I will be asking each of the members of the jury to private message me the name of the contestant that you feel deserves to win season 2 of Survivor TTS. So just to repeat, you are voting for the winner tonight. Let's get down to the vote. First up is Brian. Next up, Gina. Meg. Trey. It is your turn, Fiona. Next up, Jordan. Then we have Carlie. Georgia. And Emily. All right, the votes are in, the votes are tallied. However, I will not be revealing the winner tonight. If you want to know who won this season, then you must tune in next Wednesday, March 17th at 9:30 Central Standard Time for our reunion and finale episode where we will be revealing the winner, and we will also be having an audience vote for fan favorite of season 2. So contestants, please make sure you let your family and friends know that if they want to come to the live finale, please direct message the Instagram account. So you're going to DM the TTS Survivor Instagram account with your name and your email if you would like to attend our live finale next Wednesday, March 17th at 9:30 p.m. Who will be crowned the sole survivor of season 2 of Survivor TTS. Until next time.